Assalamu alaikum. Peace, everybody. It's Nyla, Coach Nyla, of course, one of the co-founders of Outstanding Personal Relationships. And yes, and this is welcome to monthly Poly Tea and Chat. I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to get settled, we're going to get started. And this Poly Tea and Chat, we are going to get into a few things, and we're going to chat about it. It is a live chat, so if you guys want to later on in the segment, you guys want to come up and discuss some things, chat about some things, definitely we're going to do that. Make sure that you are putting your questions in the chat box with question marks so we can know that they're questions, and those we can get to faster and everything like that. So in this Poly Teen Chat, we're going to get into how to have stress-free poly in 2023. So definitely got some good information for you guys. And, we pretty much, like I said, this is a chat, but I have some really good information, some tips to help you have a stress-free polygynous marriage in 2023. So yes, I'm gonna, like I said, give you a second. Make sure you share, because sharing is caring. I'm gonna do a couple sharing myself, or I'm gonna do a couple sharing. That makes no sense right now. It's been a long day, people, and I know I'm still traveling. So you guys let me know where you are watching from. I'm still traveling, so it's the evening time for me right now. And let me know where you guys are actually watching from, because it may be the daytime for some of you. You're probably just getting your day started. So yes, stress-free poly in 2023. So, walaikum assalam to Lahi Alissa. So get something to write with, write on. You have your questions ready, definitely put them in the chat. Share, of course, because sharing is caring. So share to your social media channels, text your friends and your family members or whatever, because definitely we are going to get started in a little less than a minute. Assalamu alaikum. Okay. Sorry, guys. It's Coach Nyla, of course. So we're going to get started with stress-free poly in 2023. And yes, so, it's really interesting, because it's like, okay, can it really be stress-free? Not necessarily. Not necessarily, but the way we handle things, that's going to be the key for the most part. But the cool thing is, I'm at this thing where I'm going to talk about mindset, resources, planning, and taking action. And of course, if you mix the letters around, it can be, like like Parmesan cheese, whatever. But the main thing for me is just, I kind of put it in a way where your mindset, first and foremost, that has to be important, what that looks like. And I have a training on having this proper mindset for a successful marriage that I will be conducting in February in our new campus. So I'm going to talk about that as well, and I'm going to show you guys a little bit of a sneak peek, because our campus is pretty much open, and it will be totally official tomorrow, which is Sunday, right? So it'll be official tomorrow, but because you are live here with me, you guys will have the sneak peek of it, and you'll also have pretty much a way to actually get in. So I'm going to give you more information on that. So stay tuned for that. So yes, I'm super excited, especially about the campus. I got a lot going on in my mind, and I had to do this poly tea and chat because it's very important. We're 2 weeks in 2023, and there are a lot of different things going on in our lives. Of course, if you guys were with us at the beginning of the year, we had amazing events. My co-wife and our husband and me, we did an amazing kind of kickstarting your new year, kickstarting 2023 event. So if you guys were a part of it, you guys saw it, definitely let me know in the chat. But yeah, it was definitely some exciting stuff. So because of that, it's like, okay, how will we keep this momentum? Because it's one thing to have these goals and these plans and these different things like that, but then what does it look like to keep the momentum going, to keep it up throughout the year? And that's the thing, even when it comes to having this quote unquote stress-free, marriage. And I kind of got it in a way from one of my favorite books, one of my favorite relationship books, not being endorsed by it, but the book is An Argument-Free Marriage. And Fawn Weaver is the author, and I watched a TED Talk of hers, and she talked about the idea of the book, because she was like, okay, I could say less stress marriage or something on the lines of that. Not stress less, argument less, or where you're not arguing as much type of marriage. But she was like, no, you can really have an argument-free marriage. And I was like, okay, yeah, really? Can you, and a lot of people, I know you're thinking that, can you really have an argument-free marriage? Can you really have a stress-free marriage, especially in polygyny? See, that's when it comes to that mindset thing. Mindset is so important. And I am the one that I've gotten so much heat from a number of people, especially on our channel, about how I just seem to think that polygyny is just so easy. It's a walk in a park, is sunshine and rainbows and kittens and unicorns and all that wonderful stuff. But the interesting thing is that that's not what it is. That's not how I look at things. I look at that we are the masters of our lives for the most part. So we are the masters of our emotions. I'm not saying that it has to be, that you don't hurt. I'm not saying that there's not challenges. It's the way we deal with it. And it's the way we look at things. And yes, it can be some tragic stuff. I know I've been through a number of it throughout my life. And I can either let it consume me and tear me down and destroy me, or I can take the lessons from it, learn from it, and move forward and get better. It's a choice. We all have these choices. So, even when people say, well, my husband married again, I didn't really have a choice because, what was I to do? I can either leave or I can stay, which is true, but those are the choices. I'm not saying the choices are going to be easy, but we still have the choice. So when we have those choices, it's like, what are we looking for in the outcome? What's the outcome we're looking for? And our mindset, having that magnificent mindset to have a stress-free marriage. Oh yes, it's going to take some being intentional. You have to be intentional when it comes to that, because if we just let our lives just go, and even our marriages just go, and it's like, oh, we just let things happen, we lose control over it. Not that we have total control over everything that happens, but we can make our lives better by being intentional. We can make our marriages better by being intentional. So that's the same thing when it comes to being stress-free in it. Case in point, I am a person that I had to unlearn a lot of different things, and I'm still unlearning a lot of things. Being raised by a single mother who was raised by a single mother, and not that that is necessarily. Now, I'm not knocking it because how I was raised was how I was raised. But when you're raised by a single mother, there's a high amount of masculine energy that can come from that. Even if the woman is, that she dresses feminine, she laughs and giggles, and she takes care of her children and everything like that, which my mom did. She still does. It's still this other energy that's there, where it's like you have to be both mother and father, or you have to be both, that have this masculine and feminine. So you have to be the protector and the provider, as well as the nurturer and everything like that. And things can get exhausting. It can get blurred. It's a lot of different things that can happen. So because of that, and growing up in a single parent household, I just had these different thoughts and these different ideas. So I had to unlearn a lot of things. So my first marriage was stressful, not just because I had to unlearn some things. It's just because that was not the right person for me. That was not the right person that I should have been married to. And I made the decision that this is not something I wanted to stay in. And going into polygyny, it was still a choice. And that wasn't an easy transition either. For one, being a single parent again, because I was a single parent before my first marriage, before I converted to Islam, and all these other things like that. That I did have my oldest son. I wasn't married to his father, so it was just different things. And my mindset anyway was that when I was 14, I asked a question about, can you get married? I mean, can you have a child and kick the man to the curb? Because what I've seen throughout just my life is like, it's more stress than not. We're having another person around that is not your child. And of course, children can be stressful. It is what it is. But so I had to unlearn a lot of things. So that's the thing when it comes to the mindset, being able to grow, being able to learn, being able to figure things out and have that confidence in order to do so. So, of course, mindset is first. That's a really big thing. So even getting into polygyny and the transition of it was not the easiest thing. Marriage period is not the easiest thing, but it's still, it can be an amazing thing if you are being intentional with what you do. If you have the mindset to win, if you have the mindset to leave a great legacy, to learn each other. The person that you married to begin with is not going to stay the same person throughout their lives. Like you're not going to stay the same person throughout your life, right? So those things are going to change. And the interesting thing is they talk about how when marriages either kind of like die or they start to dwindle or something on the lines that they say, oh, we grew apart. And a lot of times I really do believe that it's because of the lack of intention. And then when you get to a specific point, it's like, oh, wow, how did we get here? Nope, it's point of no return. So now we're over. Either we're going to get a divorce or we're just going to be pretty much staying married for the sake of being married and just be passing like ships in the night. So being able to be intentional and be intentional with your mindset, constantly learning, constantly learning about each other, constantly connecting. How do you do that? Of course, like I said, we definitely have courses on that and trainings on that, but how you do it, give them a couple of tips. One thing is asking each other questions, and not like an interrogation, just learning more about the person. I noticed a song out, and some people are like, oh, I don't listen to music, but whatever. That's neither here nor there. There's a song I heard a long time ago when I was a kid, and the song is called "If You Don't Know Me by Now" or something like that. And so, if you don't know me by now, you'll never know me. And sometimes people have that mentality and they put that in there, take that to their relationships. And I think that's dangerous because we change. Now, I get certain things where your personality is a certain way, or you have certain triggers, or there's certain moods that you get in. It's those type of things. So you know not to push these buttons, or I get that stuff, but you're not going to know the total person. The person is evolving and changing. So keeping that mindset as well, that change is inevitable. Like as wives, it's like our husbands are people, so they're going to change. I am a person. I'm going to change. This is life. The one thing that's constant is change. So having that mindset, because that's a mindset for growth. It's not this limited mindset that is there. So mindset is one. The other thing is having resources. I would got to. They're definitely stress in monogamous marriages too. Stress is a part of everyday life. It's true, but like I stated before, is like how you handle it, and that's what I mean. Because sometimes, and so it's a play on words when I say stress free. But the thing is that is how we handle that, and if we're looking at that stress as something that's detrimental or something that's beneficial. So definitely you have stress in life, period. Are you going to allow that stress to allow you to grow, or are you going to allow that stress to tear you apart? So yes, and then you go into your resources. What resources do you have? What resources are you using? We didn't have a lot of resources when it came to polygyny when we first started. We just didn't. And there's still not many resources now, but it's so much more than when we started almost 13 years ago. So it's really interesting. But what are those resources? And how are you investing in your marriage? How are you investing in yourself? What are you doing? What does that look like? What we did, and we did these things individually, but it's still, we found different things to help us grow. Whether it was certain books on relationships. There wasn't a lot of stuff on just polygyny. Now you did have the, I don't remember when the book From Monogamy to Polygyny came out. And I read the book. I think it's a little bit more one-sided, that book, but I did read it and I felt like it could be helpful for some. I remember reading the first time I was pretty much introduced to polygyny and what that could look like was reading a book, Polygyny in Islam, or Polygamy in Islam. I was like the first, the first book or the first, more information on it, because people before I even converted to Islam, that if they didn't know anything about Islam besides you can't drink alcohol, you can't eat pork, the other thing was that the husbands can have more than one wife. And so it was really interesting to hear that, but to learn more about it and say, okay, that makes sense, or I can see how that can be beneficial and these type of things like that. That's what I saw when I read that book. However, it wasn't a lot of practical information, or a lot of information in there was like, well, what if there's some insecurities or these type of things? Like, it's a number of different things that can happen, that there was not a lot of information on. You didn't have polygyny coaches, you didn't have, stuff like that. We didn't have those things. We didn't have different courses and programs based on polygyny. So some of the things were that we were able to grab from a number of different things and just pretty much put it together. So personal development when it came to mindset, when it came to taking care of your health and your mental health, being able to communicate, being able to be a leader, being able to work as a team, all these different things that came from these different sources, and putting it together to form the curriculum, or to form the plan of action that we needed to take to get better. And we still do that to this day. So, and being able to help others do the same, so they don't have to go through the fumble and bumble and everything like that. So Yes. So resources, speaking of which, we have a number of different resources, and I'm super excited. So I'm going to show you guys a couple of things that we created. And I am going, like I stated before, I'm going to give you a sneak peek into the program. I'm not to the program, into the campus. I'm so excited about the campus because we were thinking about, we've been planning the campus for a while. We have our community, and we wanted to pretty much convert it so we can have it as an educational hub for for our members and for our students. So I'm super excited about it. However, before that, we've had a number of different things, the polygamy roadmap, and I am going to show you guys a number of those different things. If you haven't gotten it, this right here is a wonderful roadmap that my co-wife and I created together, and I am so excited about it. I'm happy about it because it has helped a number of people, and I wish we had a roadmap back in the day. And then, of course, we also have the men's polygamy roadmap as well, that our husband, Coach Nazir, created, and just has some really great information. And that's really, it's a really good tool to have. So those resources, and in order to get those, definitely make sure you check out polygamyroadmap.com. And I'm going to try to find the link so you guys can definitely, there it is. So you guys can know where to get it from, polygamyroadmap.com. Really good information. I really wish we had that. And that right there definitely helps, having the proper resources in front of you, being able to find these different resources, and having a plan of action. But I'm going to show you something. You guys let me know. It was fun. It was fun shooting this. Hopefully it's here. I hope I can find it. Oh, yes. So you guys let me know. This was so super duper fun. And let me know what y'all think about it.
Reporting for duty, husband, sir.
Formation. I am Coach Nazir.
I am Coach Fatimah, his wife.
And I am Coach Nyla. I am also his wife.
We are the founders of Outstanding Personal Relationships and Polygamy Bootcamp. And if you think that's how polygamy actually works,
You are sadly mistaken.
but you were laughing, right? I know you're laughing. That's funny. Anyway, we're also the authors of Let's Talk Polygamy Uncensored. And we want to let you know something, because when it comes to practicing polygamy, there's this whole fantasy on how that is, at least on the men's side. Like, I'll do this, you're going to be step, lock, and step. Not at all. Not at all. The challenge is, when we embarked on our polygynous journey, before us raising, 12 children and traveling the world and everything else, it looked a whole lot messier and it was a whole lot more challenging. All right. So what we've done is we put a special gift together for you at polygamybootcamp.com to kind of let you know what the pillars are to really practicing it at a high level, especially if you're new, or if you just have the idea, or maybe you want to just kind of figure a few things out.
Right.
Yeah. Many initial wives believe that they're being replaced, or that their husband doesn't love them anymore, and they don't really know how to deal with that or their emotions.
And many subsequent wives, incoming wives, if you will, or second wives, have the feeling of where do they belong, or that they are not good enough and they have to do extra in order to get the acceptance and the attention and the affection of their husband. And we dispel all of that. polygamybootcamp.com.
Go there, get your free gift. You will thank us later, especially if you're looking at practicing polygyny in a healthy fashion. Make sure you click the link below. Go ahead and get your free gift, and we look forward to sharing more fun stuff with you. So shape up
Or ship out.
Click the button below. Assalamu alaikum.
Peace.
That was like so fun shooting, guys. We got a number of people that before they even watched the whole thing were commenting, had to delete some of their comments. Oh my gosh. Anyway, it was a lot of fun. I'm shooting that, and even creating the polygamy boot camp, a number of things. And I know sometimes you have a number of people that come and say, well, why are we, well, why all you guys do is talk about polygamy? All you guys do is talk about polygamy, which is not true. We actually talk about marriage and relationships in general, hence outstanding personal relationships. But the thing is that polygamy and polygyny, we don't hear enough about it. If we hear it, it's a lot of negativity or the stigma to it and these different things like that, even though it's an ancient, Coach Nyla says, an ancient solution to a modern day problem. And there's so many different relationship problems. It'd just be too much. But we know how things look. And then the destruction of the nuclear family, like I stated before, and I was raised by a single mother who was raised by a single mother. I became a single mother. I know what that looks like. And, even if it's the case where people say, oh, well, you just married in polygyny, so you don't be a single mother anymore. Well, you can get married, period, so you don't be a single mother anymore. Why would you want to walk around being a single mother and just do extra work and do these extra things? It's like being in a marriage shows how things are supposed to be. You have the yin and yang. You have the two different dynamics. You have the father and the mother and all these beautiful things where the children can grow up in this well-balanced household and this well-balanced family. How does that play in polygyny? The children grow up to be well-balanced. We have a number of different videos on our YouTube channel where our kids are actually talking about what it's like or what it looked like growing up in polygyny. Not only growing up in polygyny, but what it looked like before and what it's looking like now. It wasn't always what you see in front of you. And that's what we talk about. We're not going to pretend like everything was all peaches and cream, that everything was all hunky-dory. However, we grew through that and we learned from it, and we're still here almost 13 years later. So being able to teach more people, being able to give them the resources that we didn't have so they don't have to go through the bumps and bruises that we had to go through. So it's just a beautiful thing to be able to do that and to create these different resources that we didn't have, because we'll look back and say, well, shoot, what didn't we have? What would we like to have? We also love getting you guys' comments and information too. So definitely shoot us an email at support@outstandingpersonalrelationships.com on different ideas or different things that you may want to know or learn and stuff like that, because it may be one of our next courses in our in our campus. So speaking of which, I'm going to answer this one question, because I do see a question here. And I am going to share my screen so you guys kind of get a sneak peek of the campus. So it says, does chemistry and attraction play a part in getting married to that person? Aisha, do you mean it as far as in polygyny or just period? Because I really do believe that chemistry and definitely attraction. Here's the thing. I think a lot of times you have this thing when it comes to polygyny that only the first marriage is a marriage of like love, attraction, and these different things like that. I believe that any marriage, period, any marriage should have some type of chemistry, meaning that you have to be connected in some type of way to each other. I'm pretty sure that people want to expand their families or these different things like that, or they want to be able to connect. So in order to be able to connect, at least have enough chemistry that you want to learn each other, enough attraction that you want to talk to the person and look at the person. So I really think those things really play a big role when it comes to that, being able to be attracted, and not just physically attracted, just attracted in a lot of different ways. You have people are attracted to, the learning of it all, like the mentality of a person. So when a person is like very knowledgeable about some things, it's like, oh, this person can definitely teach me a lot, and or their leadership skills. All these different things play a part, and each individual marriage is different. Even in polygyny, each individual marriage is different. So to compare definitely causes a number of issues. And that's another thing too, with a lot of that heavy stress, that comparison can be the thief of joy. So you have these multiple marriages, meaning, more than one, because it could just be only two, or it can be up to four in Islam. And these are individual marriages, but but comparing one to the other can cause some strife, if you will. You can have, where it's like, oh, well, he's not doing this over here, or he did this there, or I heard this thing. And it's like, why? I remember an acquaintance of mine was talking about, she was in polygyny and had an issue, and I don't really want to call it an issue, I guess, so to speak. Issues are issues. A challenge that she and her husband didn't have children together, but he and his other wife did. But the thing was that she made a comment about, like his family, or I don't feel like a family, or something like that. And I was like, okay, it's because you don't have children with them. And it was like, that was the thing. Like, well, we don't have children together. We don't have children together. And I'm like, you don't even want children. Because I knew that you don't want children. Like, she don't want children. Like, okay, wait, maybe I'm just confused. Do you actually want children? Do you want more children? Because she actually had, multiple children, and they were fairly older. And she's like, no, I really don't. So it's like, okay, well, if this other wife is pregnant, and they may have their own thing that they want more kids together, and you don't. So why is that an issue? And don't discount just because it's you and him and you don't have any children together. Don't discount that being your family. He married you, and he married you for a reason. So a lot of times our mindset, going back to that mindset part, we can definitely place some problems in our own marriages by the comparison, by looking at just not looking at things the way they should be, and looking at it more negatively than positively. I talk about and train on a number of things where I talk about different mindsets, and you have the scarcity mindset, and you have the me, nobody but me mindset, and then you have this super duper competitive, anything you can do, I can do better, I can do anything better than you mindset. And all three of those mindsets can be so detrimental to your marriage. So yes, being able to have an attraction to one another. But I know I was just going back to that, just having an attraction to one another, and being able to talk to one another, having some chemistry, and being able to connect with one another is a big deal. Of course, having that mindset and being intentional about growing your own individual marriage and minding your marriage is very important too. So checking for some more. And guys, if you're going to if you're going to ask some questions, definitely put question marks below, or before and after your statement or your question, so I know that there are actually questions. Okay, I'm going to hit this question too. It says, Assalamu alaikum, Sister Nyla. How do you deal in the case you see or feel that your husband loves your co-wife more? I'm going to tell you something. We don't know that. We really don't. We don't know if he loves someone more or not. And when we put ourselves in that position, we really can cause a lot of issues with our own self-esteem. And I'm telling you this so much from experience. I'm at the beginning of our polygynous journey. I was so insecure about my place, about just how things were going, because people were not accepting of me. And they've been married for 15 years before I came along, had these babies and beautiful children, all these different things like that. And the community, knew them, they've been in the community for pretty much ever to me, so these things. And it was almost kind of I know what I wanted, and I know why I why I wanted to get married, and not only get married, but married to this particular man, because of the leadership I saw, because of the love and support that he was giving to his family, that, you kind of see things when you see a person that's already married. And of course, I know about polygyny, and I know that that's not something that's wrong to do, and that is actually, amicable if the person is able to practice polygyny, if they're actually able to be just and do what they're supposed to do. And of course, the whole other thing of minding your marriage and all that other stuff. So, but the thing is, because I wasn't received, in the most, the most welcoming way, and that in order to get things to smooth out or whatever the case may be, Coach Nyla had to do, or felt he had to do whatever he needed to do. And to me, I felt that he was favoring Coach Fatimah. I stated it before, we talked about it, all these other things like that. However, because of that, I caused a number of different issues within my own marriage. I caused my issues of low self-esteem, and which caused me to not speak my mind and how I was feeling much, and all these different things. And it can cause a lot of strife. And I am of the mindset, don't sign up for that class of trying to figure out who he loves more. I know a lot of people think that should be a thing, like co-wives should have an issue with each other, that because they're married to married to the same man. Another thing is that, they feel that the husband, has to totally lean, like he, and they say that, well, you can't, you will love one more than the other. Even if that's the case, even though that is known that, you can't control, the emotion that you have, or you can't control the feelings of love and everything that you have for one another. But the way you put it out there, the way you have to be intentional to not lean, and the thing is, you never know, because you can have a person that is treating someone a particular way because of, I got to say this because we're adults here, we talk real, and real being real. You have people that will do certain things based on obligation, or they'll do it based on not wanting to deal with the drama or certain things like that. And it could look like they may be favoring one over the other. So you really won't know. So, giving grace and understanding that, even though that's when it comes to the emotional part, it can be difficult, for us to kind of navigate as women. It can be difficult for the husband to navigate as well. The emotional part, and actually even the trying to make sure one is not feeling the other way. And he can't do that. That's not something that he has control over. He can't, like our husband cannot actually make me happy. He can't make me happy. That's up to me. Now he can do nice things. He could, tap into my love language and do these other things, but I can still, if I chose to, I'm not saying you should do it because it's not okay. And I work on myself to try not to do stuff like that. You can overlook it, turn up your nose, whatever the case may be. And it's still, and he could be doing everything right. And if we feel that he's not doing what we want him to do at this particular time of the day or whatever, then he's losing, at least in his mind to us, if we're, catching attitudes or doing these different things like that. So anyway, a long answer to a short question, but it's like, I try not to sign up for that class. My main thing is focusing on my marriage and minding that and what that looks like. Looking at the plan, and I'm going to go plan, the marriage mission statement, train on that in our polygamy masterclass. Speaking of which, and I'm going to get to it, but I got to show you guys, of course, another video that we created. And I want to say that it actually has to do with our polygamy masterclass, because it was it's really, really good. if it's up here. So I'm just trying to see if it is. So yeah, but definitely put your questions. Make sure you have your question marks, so I'll know that that's what it is. And if I don't see it, then I'm just not gonna put it up there. So we had the men's polygamy masterclass, and we had the women's polygamy masterclass as well. So I don't see. Maybe I'm just overlooking it, but I'm going to show the men's polygamy masterclass right now.
Make sure the speakers are on. First, congratulations. I'm going to congratulate you for being proactive and taking charge like men are supposed to, like leaders step up and are supposed to do it. And I recognize that, I respect that. So what I like to do, because clearly you are separating yourself from the trivial many, but what I would like to do is offer you something that I've never offered before at this price. Yep, it's a one-time offer of my 5-part polygamy masterclass. 5-part polygamy masterclass. It normally sells for $497 if that's one pay, but the regular original price is $597. But what I want to do for you is offer you more than 50% off. So for $247, you can take advantage of my entire polygamy masterclass. We update and we add new information every year. So from this point on, through all polygamy masterclass updates and changes and so on, you get full and complete access, as well as access in our educational community where you'll be able to ask me questions regarding it. We'll be able to go over different things within our private space with other members. So yeah, you'll be able to communicate with other members. You'll be able to get ahas. You get, of course, the downloads and everything else that comes along with it. So again, because you're being proactive, either you're going to go ahead and take advantage of it or you're not. It's no problem if you don't. But if you are, you're going to get the opportunity to take advantage of it right now for only $247. Click the button on this page to go ahead and start. I would love to have you. I love to work with those who rise to the top, those who choose to be the cream, because we know average is nothing but the top of the bottom or the bottom of the top. And you're clearly choosing to be outstanding. So if you want it, go ahead and take advantage of it. That's my special gift to you because I honor and respect you taking advantage. And I look forward to working with you in our membership area with taking things to the next level. And remember, wish changes nothing, but a decision changes everything. See you in the course. Assalamu alaikum. Peace.
Okay, assalamu alaikum, guys. Salam, peace. It's me. I'm back, of course. Now, I'm not totally sure if that, I'll have to talk to him, see if that special is still going on, but I really loved how we started. He definitely really focuses on the men being these true leaders and doing the things and stepping up and being more than twice the man that they need to be in order to practice polygyny. So it's definitely, it's definitely a big responsibility. And it's a responsibility on all. So going into the plan part, having that plan, having that marriage mission statement, having those goals that you want to set for your individual marriage, not only with your individual marriage, but also with your your family, your family legacy. What does that look like? And being able to discuss that with your husband and embracing your individual identity. Embracing your individual identity so you can grow and connect and embrace that marital identity that you have with your husband as well. Regardless if you're in polygyny or not, if you're in monogamy, you still should be able to have that connection. And if you have that connection in monogamy and polygyny just happen to show up in your life, and I know I'm really making a blanket statement because it doesn't just happen to show up, but if polygyny enters your life, being able to have that connection that you had before and being able to be intentional and have that mindset, you should be able to discuss the issues, problems, challenges, concerns with your husband. It's not always easy, but Coach Nyla said a thing and it made so much sense, but I'm going to say a number of things about it too, because, I also had my ideas about it. It was like, okay, with your friend now, what can you tell your friend? What can you not tell your friend? What can you not share with your friend? And people say, well, shoot, I should be able to talk to my friend about anything. I should be able to share anything with my friend. But then people say that, oh, my husband is my best friend. My husband is my best friend. My husband is my best friend. But then when it comes to the way we feel about certain things, we don't discuss those things with them, or we keep it to ourselves, or we discuss it in a way and we get in our chest, or we get in our feelings, and it's really hard to communicate. And I understand how that can be, because I like what I mentioned to Coach Nazir about it. I said, I understand that. I said, but it's a different type of relationship. Yes, you should be friends. You should be able to talk to each other about anything. There are certain things that you may have to say in a certain way. He said, yeah, of course, saying it in a certain way, but not saying it at all. Made a lot of sense. A lot of sense. So what is that mindset? Are we really being for real when we say our husbands are our best friends? Or friends, period. Should we be able to share those things? It's not going to always be easy. It's interesting how we can say hurtful, not that it should be hurtful, but saying difficult things to our other friend, or to our other friends, or to other people who we care about. But we say, you know what? We should be able to talk about this. We should be at that level. We should be able, I thought we were better than this type of thing. Your marriage should be like that. Your marriage should be like that. So being able to have that plan, discuss those things when things change, when there are some challenges, we should be able to do that. And of course, go into that more in our different trainings, also in the polygamy boot camp. I don't see the women's one, but like co-wife and I, we did the women's polygamy boot camp as well. In order to get that information and more on it, go to polygamy boot camp. I'm not polygamy boot camp, polygamy masterclass, guys. My brain. So yes, the 4-part polygamy masterclass for the women. So like co-wife and I did together. So yeah, as you see us all smiling and stuff. And then of course the 5-part polygamy masterclass for men that our husband Coach Nazir did. So yes, let me go check to see the comments and everything like that. Alhamdulillah. And the comments and questions. I'm gonna get to the questions first, and then I'm gonna get to the comments. And we're not gonna be here too long, but I am gonna show you, like I said, the sneak peek. I did tell you guys, I'm gonna show you the sneak peek into the community. I'm super excited about, and I want to be able to put the link up as well. So, question. Okay, I mean, what yet? Does your husband talk to you while he has his day with your co-wife, or is there no communication at all until it's your day? Okay, this is the thing, and I don't know how other people do it, but my co-wife and I, we talk about it a lot, and we say our husband is our husband 100% of the time. It doesn't matter where he is. He's our husband 100% of the time. That's what we have: text, email, a number of different things, but we've gotten to a place in our family where we really have gotten communication pretty decent for the most part. Well, we're still working on communication, but I mean the way we communicate is we try to get better at that just on and on. It's an ongoing process of improving our communication. My co-wife and I understand boundaries. And what I mean by that is that sometimes you have people that just want to be vindictive. You have people that want to cause disruption just because they're feeling a certain way or they're not happy. My co-wife and I have always been cordial, even at times during the time we weren't speaking to each other because we didn't garner a relationship with one another. We were still cordial. We still were respectful. So sometimes when it comes to things like that, it causes some people can be disrespectful and they'll say, well, I'm going to talk to this person. I'm going to call him, or I'm going to text him, or I'm going to try to take up his time with her, type of thing like that. My co-wife and I, we tease and we joke, we say, it's not our day with him, it's his day with us. So we joke about that. The thing is, if we need to communicate in any way, shape, or form, we do that. And he made that very clear. That's the thing of having a husband that understands what leadership is supposed to look like, and that his family is his family all around the board. Yes, he has different marriages, but his family is still his family. So this wife is still part of his family. This wife is still part of his family. So if my co-wife needs something, or she wants to, comment on something or communicate or share something, that's not something I'm like, oh, well, why is she calling you? Or why da-da-da-da. Neither that doesn't happen between us. Because see, our husband set that standard. He set that standard. He made sure that, like, this is my family. It's what it is. And my co-wife and I, like we said, he's our husband 100% of the time, regardless of where he's at. Just as same as that if he was at work, at some brick and mortar place, or whatever the case may be, if we needed to communicate with him or talk to him or anything like that, we should be able to communicate with him. We should be able to connect with him. So, and then of course, like I said, we understand boundaries, we understand being respectful, all those things like that. That's important. That's important. But understanding that your husband is your husband 100% of the time. And that's the thing where people get the whole misconception of that, oh, well, you have half a husband, or he's half this, and the kids over here loses their daddy for half the time. That's not how it should be. So if it's done that way, then definitely people need to check out a number of our products, check out our community, check out our YouTube channels, check out our campus, because there's information there to help have a harmonious family, and not separating them like that, or keeping them separate, where it feeds in a lot of, just a lot of disconnect and jealousies and insecurities and things as far as that. So yeah, I hope that answered your question though, but the way it's set up within our dynamic is that our husband is our husband 100% of the time. Coach Fatimah can talk to him whenever she can, and vice versa. My thing is, we know how to be very respectful of each other's time and place and energy and different things like that. That's the beauty of growth. That's the beauty of maturity. Inshallah, I hope that helps. There's another question. Do you and Fatimah go out with your husband together without your children? We have, sometimes like, kick their kids to the curb. No. But, yeah, we have, and it's been some good times. And sometimes it's been, we call it the working lunches too, with OPR stuff. And sometimes it's just us getting out, doing stuff, but they still have their time and we still have our time and everything like that. So it's just being able to just enjoy your life, and not take things so serious or making things unnecessarily complicated, and I think that's the thing, and that's just being comfortable, so we have our family meetings, we have family movie night, game night, these different things like that. We totally built this thing up to where we are now, where it's refreshing. It's not a lot of stress and drama. Now, are there some challenges? Can there be some ups and downs? Yeah, with anything in life. But like I said, alhamdulillah, thank Allah, all praise due to Allah for maturity and for growth and for constantly learning and for leadership, for a husband that said, what, I'm going to continue to grow. I want my family to continue to grow. And this is what it's going to look like. And to be able to come to us and say, this is what it's going to look like. This is what I want it to look like. So, alhamdulillah, it's a beautiful thing. Okay. Yes. I mean, let's see. I mean, I should put you up on the, you and Aisha, do you guys want to come up and and share the screen and come and chat. You guys have some really good questions. Let me know if you do, put a thumbs up, put your hand up or something. Of course, we won't be too long, but you guys have some really great questions. Thank you. What if a man doesn't want to introduce a second wife to the first one, despite the second one being ready from the very beginning, even before marriage? Ooh, can be difficult. Yeah, I have to think about that, because the thing is, sometimes it could be a reason why it says, so the second wife could be ready, but the first wife is not ready. Still have to respect those different things. So it may not even be that. And then the husband may actually know the dynamic of it all. So it might have to be some other things. Like, it's not that she doesn't know. So she knows. It's just that whole connection part has to take some time. Like with Coach Fatimah and I was always ready. And she states that too. I was always ready. And it wasn't that Coach Nyla didn't want to introduce us or anything like that. And actually, if you guys kind of know the story, we actually knew each other before. And of course, married, divorced, all this different stuff. I'm not going to bore you guys with the details right now, because it's a different story for a different time. However, but being married to the same man, it was just a different dynamic. And being able to connect in the way that we do now, it took some time, and I was always ready. And like I said, she'll state that too. It's like she wasn't ready yet. And I was patient. I can be patient. It came to a time where I was like, forget it then. She don't want to know me, there's so much. But in my heart, I didn't feel that way. But in my mind, I was like, well, why? Why would I try so hard if a person don't want to know me or get to know me? But it just takes some time. And that wasn't the case, so that's when I said communication is key. And you have to be very careful with assuming things and, letting things get to your head, or things blow up blow things out of proportion and things like that. And of course, our husband was kind of a liaison between us, because I would send her gifts and then she'll send me thank you. Like, she was never like dismissive of anything that I was, giving her or anything like that. We weren't just connecting. So until later on, and she had to come to her part, and I wasn't going to rush that. So that could be a thing too. So the second wife can always be ready. It could be the same even the other way around. The first wife is like, yes, I want to, and then the second wife could be feeling away, So it's just, if you married a man who's a leader, and you know how he operates, and you trust in his leadership, trust that he knows what he's doing when it comes to that. You can tell him and talk to him and communicate with him about your feelings and your intentions and what you want, but still trust that he will navigate things in the way, because he knows both sides. We only know one. So inshallah that helped. Oh, no problem with me now. Inshallah. Okay. I'm trying to, okay. Hey, no, okay. Was there a mentor couple for you all to model when you all first became polygynous? Did you always know you wanted to be polygynous, even when you were in your first marriage that ended? Interesting. Good question, Dobla. For me, there was not a mentor couple. And Coach Nazir and Coach Nyla, they talk about it before, like, they didn't really know people like that at first, like in polygyny, that was actually practicing. And of course, they could tell their story a whole lot better than me, but there was no mentor couple. I not at all. Definitely not for me. But did I always know I wanted to be polygynous? No, I don't think so. Because I have my jealousies and things like that. But when I read the book, Polygamy in Islam, that definitely, it was like, it makes sense. So it wasn't oh yeah, I wouldn't mind being polygyny or anything like that. It's just like, oh wow, that actually makes sense. I can see how that can operate and how that can work. So I never really even had an issue with polygyny ever. When I understood what it was about, I'm like, oh wow, yeah, why not type of thing. But when it came to being in polygyny, I think afterwards, after my marriage, my first marriage, it was like, yeah, polygyny would definitely be, would be what's up for me, because even though I say that our husband is our husband 100% of the time, and we are still his wives 100% of the time, it's just that time is not always, you have help. That is, whatever. Forgive me. But yeah, sometimes it is, marriage is a beautiful thing. But of course, with a lot of different dynamics going on, where especially when you have children and businesses and different things like that, it's like what works for me, what will work for me, and being able to split time, because with my co-wife like that it works for me. It definitely works for me, and I don't know if going back and say, oh yeah, did I always want to be? I don't know about that. But learning more and growing more is like, oh yeah, I couldn't see it any other way. So yeah, hopefully I answered the question. Okay, let me put it up here and then read it. What if he decides to marry the first one legally, is planning it, and not the second one, despite the second one can't even enter the country? I have no idea. That's totally outside of what I could answer with that. Like if he decided and planning it, not the second one, despite the second one can't even enter the country without the legal marriage. That's something that is, see, there's certain things that can be all around the board stuff, and there's certain things that can be a case-by-case basis type of thing. And this is kind of one of those things where it's like, sometimes you have to deal with the person. It's the person, not the, and then a lot of times it's about the people anyway. It's not the institution of the marriage, it's the people involved in the marriage. So that's the thing. And when I talk about picking winners, or not picking losers for your winning team, when you are looking for a husband, or asking around, having your wakil or your wali, and those who are not Muslim, that means your guardian, someone who has your best interest in mind. Find out information about a person that you're looking to marry. That's really important. That's really, really important. So, and it will help to deter predators and different things like that, and a lot of the different stresses and heartache that can go from saying, well, I've been patient, I've been waiting, I've been doing these type of things like that, because game recognize game, and good game recognize all game. So sometimes we're seduced by our ears. We're seduced by our ears. We like the sweet nothings, and we like the promises and things like that. But of course, we love the action more than the promise, but we will hold on based on that promise. So it depends on the person. Sometimes we have to be careful with that. So that's kind of one of those about the people and the case-by-case basis. How long did it take before you and Fatimah became comfortable around each other? It took years. I don't know exactly the amount of years, but it took years. And as I stated before, the main thing was it's a mindset, and that's the thing, going into the mindset. And I went into plan, I'm going to go into action next, and then I'm gonna walk y'all through this, the sneak peek. And then for real, guys, I gotta go. But you guys are asking some wonderful questions. And definitely meet us in the campus, because that's where you're going to get more of this. You're going to get more of the lives. You're going to get more of that with us. In addition to as far as the poly tea and chat, I may end just moving it directly to the campus. So I'm still playing around with the idea of that right now. But yeah, so what was I see? I totally lost my train of thought. That happens sometimes with me. Yes, so it took a while, and she pretty much said it was, when she was ready, and I had the mindset that whenever she's ready, I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be ready too. When she's ready, I'm gonna. It's that be ready so you don't have to get ready mindset type of thing. So it makes it a lot easier when the people are already cordial. It makes it a lot easier when you don't have people backbiting or saying things that they have to fix when you finally get together. So alhamdulillah, or praise Allah, that was the case with us, where it wasn't all this little bickering and craziness or whatever. So it made it a whole lot easier for me. And it still allowed me to be patient when Coach Fatimah, wanted to the idea of getting to know me or whatever the case may be. And she could tell her story better than I can. So when you guys check her out on her Quintessential Queens, y'all can ask her that question on that, okay? On Thursday, inshallah. So, walaikum assalam, is it necessary to introduce the wives to each other? No, it's not necessary. As long as they know that each other exists. So it's not necessary. I mean, that's an easy answer to it. We talk about best practices, and we train on best practices for best results. And you're still part of the same family because you're under the umbrella of your husband. So to be able to be at least cordial with one another, because you never know what happens in life and when you may actually need each other. And I can go on and on about different stories of, how we came through for each other. My co-wife and I came through for each other on a number of different things. So you never know. So you definitely don't want to be that one that causes a rift between your family. Wa alaikum assalam to life of the cat too. Man, like I see what your family. Oh, alhamdulillah, I mean. Okay, so I'm gonna go through the chat real quick and walk you guys through Cleveland. Alhamdulillah. Salam. Love your channel. Yes, alhamdulillah. Thank you. Want to be married. Okay, this is what I want to go through. I want to be married, but only one husband. I'd be his only wife. Yeah, that's, a lot of us have that want, and some don't. So yeah, and the things that we teach outside of personal relationships, a lot of our commenters, a lot of our subscribers, a lot of people who follow us, they said this can work in monogamy too. This is for monogamy too. We understand that. We're just talking, more polygyny based, just because it doesn't get as fair airtime, and there's not many people talking about it in a good way, in a positive light. So, we definitely want to shed the beauty of it as well. So let me get you guys to to see. Hopefully, the share screen. Let's see. Let me try to see it. Where we at? Can I do? Trying to see. Yeah, whatever. Okay, entire screen. Let's see. See if I can do it. You guys can see this. Boop. All righty. So where are we at? Can you guys see? Oh man. Let me see if you guys can see. Oops, whoopsies. Okay, there we go. That's it. Stop. Okay, there we go. Okay, so nope, that's the wrong one. Sorry guys, here it is. So this is the campus. I'm so excited. And you see us there. And then the members, we have a leaderboard, circles. We already have this stuff populated for you guys when you go and sign up to be part of the private community. Which is not just a private community, it's not a community, it's pretty much the education campus. So we have beautiful things. We have challenges going on. We have different discussion groups, which is the circles and things like that. You guys see this gratification through group coaching. I can't talk. Say that 3 times fast. Gratification through growth, group coaching with Coach Nyla, and Coach Fatimah actually has her group coaching as well. That's going to be in the campus as well. So yes, extremely excited about it. I want to find out more information. Of course, this is the website where you will get information on the transformation coaching and the group coaching, and this is how you will be able to sign up. Okay, so I'm excited, guys. How excited I am about this. So we will be opening up our community. I keep saying community because I'm so used to seeing the community, and we had our community. We're going to be opening up our campus starting tomorrow. So a lot of the challenges start tomorrow. These different things like that. We have a meet and greet coming up on the 4th, so it's going to be a virtual meet and greet, everything like that. So definitely look out for that, and we will be. You guys are going to get a lot of information coming your way about getting involved in the community or getting involved in the campus if you're not already, and the different things that's going to be happening. So make sure you are subscribed to us at outstandingpersonalrelationships.com. Make sure that you are connected on our social media channels as well, because you're going to see it all over the place, inshallah, God willing. So yes, I am. So I wanted to show that to you guys. Like I said, I'm really excited. Make sure you get your polygamy roadmap if you haven't already, polygamyroadmap.com. Of course, whether it's the men or women, go ahead and check it out. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. I've gotten really good feedback. And you guys, you've been missing my poly tea and chat. I actually decided to move it to once a month because I definitely want to focus a lot more on our clients and things as far as that nature. And as you can see, it can go a little long, and I want to be able to do that. So it will be every second Saturday of the month, inshallah. And as I stated before, make sure you are connected with us, because you will definitely get the ins and outs of that information, and you will, get the exclusive information if you are connected closely with us. All right. So again, guys, thank you so much for joining me at the Poly Tea and Chat as we talked about. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot real quick, because you guys are like, what about action, Coach Nyla? Action, take action. There it is. So take action. Have that mindset, that proper mindset. We went through that already. Have those resources. I showed you a number of resources, and definitely check out our campus, because that's where you're going to really get more in depth with us with a number of different things that we're doing. And you'll be connecting with other people as well, and who are like-minded, who can give you more information, who can help you in certain situations. So yes, we will be one big community that, with that's sharpening iron sharpens iron. So you definitely want to learn from, other people as well, and create that plan, create the plan, what you want your marriage to look like, get that marriage mission statement together, all that other good stuff, that plan for growth, and take action on those things, and plan, do review, rinse and repeat. All right. So, all righty. Until next time, make sure you're growing intentionally, loving fearlessly, and connecting on a higher level every single day. Again, thank you for joining me on the Poly Tea and Chat. I'll see y'all next month, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.